starters off, obviously you're at, Washington State, but
Yeah.
you know, you started from San Bernardino, California. Kind of just talk about like, your upbringing a little bit, where you started from in terms of football.
Well, I would say like my situation is kind of different because you know how like basically like, we both started during that COVID time period.
Yeah,
So I originally started off at Grand Terrace High School, and then like that school wasn't like the greatest.
yeah,
It was around like D7, D9. Not a lot of coaches coming out there, right? And then, I was still balling. I was still doing my thing. But the hardest part about going to a school like that is that even though like even though you're doing great, right? Coaches want to see that kind of like competition,
right.
and so for me, I so for me, what kind of like pushed me a little bit, uh, it was like I'll go out to all like the residence camps, and that's where I originally met your family at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
residence camp, and I met Danny there. And then basically I was shown to all these different types of like coaches, just basically everything.
yeah,
And then so for me, I made the decision to basically go to a more like a to just like a better school and just like a better program, which
yeah,
ultimately that does have a effect on your process in this, because basically colleges want to see like the way you're able to like retain like the type of information, what players you go against, because like basically like no one's gonna really look at you if you're going against some
yeah,
just some regular dude, right?
yeah.
But for me, I originally started football when I was about seven or six. I originally I basically didn't want to do like this the sport. I was originally a baseball player, and
Oh,
my mom was like, "David, you gotta try this, right?" And so I remember going out there, right? This first practice, I'm over here crying, right? Because I'm over here getting yelled at, and my mom take me to the sideline, right? And she over here make me do up downs and push ups. So I'm over here crying, and everybody watching me. And then the next day, I come back mad, right? And I remember it. I remember hit sticking this kid, and after that, man, I fell in love with the game.
yeah, hell yeah, bro. So like when you transfer from Grand Terrace to Cajon.
Yep.
So obviously it's much better players. Nothing against Grand Terrace, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. Of course.
division wise, how was it like a culture shock? What was like the biggest difference you've seen between like um, just in terms of division, like a lower division school and a higher division school? What's the difference between that?
Well,
Like,
Grand Terry still has like a phenomenal coaches and everything. Coaches that I still respect and still talk to like this day. But I would say like the difference is probably about my last year at Grand Terry. The crazy part is I didn't really have a D line coach because basically they left, and so basically it was just me coaching what I knew from camps to my teammates. And so I wasn't really getting that, like that coaching that I needed in order to achieve the next level. And so, like the biggest culture shock was like there was stuff provided for you. I would say like the one for me, it's crazy thing about, they actually gave us jumpsuits at a Cajon, which
yeah,
which basically it's like anybody else is like jumpsuits, man. That's some basic things.
yeah,
But it's just like the basic things like Cajon brought. Like I know it's not in like the greatest area or anything. Like
yeah,
people want to say it is, but like people love football right there.
yeah,
That's what people want, is like those kids who go to school over there, like they want to make it out, like I like the trenches over there. So
right,
basically, football is like them kids take that thing seriously.
hell yeah. So like that's in terms of like the resources they provide, more resources. But how about like in terms of like teammates, that like what was the difference between like the guys you were playing with?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I had a teammate, Josiah, your cousin. Yeah, that boy before everything now, but like that boy was honestly obsessed with football, and it
Yeah,
was nice being around other players who are obsessed with football and have those same dreams and aspirations.
hell
Because
yeah,
like basically like when you go to like the smaller like divisions, like people enjoy football, but people don't like love football. You
right,
feel me?
yeah, yeah,
And so like and it's basically like when you go to like a higher division school, you know that these kids are gonna go places that they want to like achieve dreams. You know, like the Jaden Daniels, which they named the field after him now, which
Yeah,
is crazy to me.
on the Heisman.
Hmm.
For
But
those who don't know, Cajones where Jaden Daniels is from, so
mhm.
that's what he ended up transferring to. Hell yeah,
But yeah, so like it's like players like that caliber just coming out and just grinding every day.
hell yeah. So you're talking about dreams. Was it always a dream of yours to go D1, or were you kind of just playing for fun, seeing what happens? Like, what was that looking like?
I would say it was always a dream of mine to go D1. Like it was something that was always like put in my head. Like you like your parents, you like you're good at one thing, and they're like, trying to like put it out there, trying to like talk to other parents and all of that. So for me, like it was always like my family's like, oh, Goose, so you're gonna go like D1, right? D1 this, and then so like it got to the point where I became obsessed with it. Where like I just based up hanging out with my friends. Like basically I wouldn't even go out anymore. I would just be training in my backyard. I would literally just sometimes we're a little bit like a tight on a money, so I couldn't afford like the ladders. So I'll
Mm,
grab a stick and draw and draw like squares
yeah,
like the turn stuff,
mm,
and like that's how I would do that in my backyard.
that's dope, bro. So like, once you knew this is something that you wanted to do, what were some of the steps that you took to ensure this happened?
Well, yeah, I would say you could. I would say in order to go D1, I would say that you could go about this alone, but I would say it's definitely a lot easier if you have a family or a circle to surround yourself with. Like 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 if you could find generally good people in your life, it'll help you so much.
Uh,
And just that training aspect. I would say for me, I trained about 6 to 7 times a week.
yeah,
So it was almost be every day for 3 hours a day, and sometimes I'd even travel about an hour away just so I could train. But I would say the hardest part about that is you will lose like your social life. But like if you really want to achieve this type of dream, like like your social life can wait. You
yeah,
feel me? Like a college, you'll have plenty of time to socialize. There'll be plenty of that. But I
yeah,
would say like if you're really trying to achieve the dreams that you want to achieve, I would definitely say give up all your free time.
yeah. So pretty much any excess time goes to the grind. That's what you're saying.
Mhm.
And when you were grinding, like what were like any specific workouts or things you were doing in your free time to kind of get yourself above everybody else? Was it like you know any special workouts, watching film? What did that look like?
Yeah, yeah. So for me, um, since my period was during COVID, like the mandate, we couldn't even like drive around.
Yeah,
So basically my big thing was a Facebook Marketplace. I bought all the weights and and all the ropes off of there. But I would say for workouts, I would say that if high school coaches are telling you that you got to bench a certain amount, squat a certain amount, you
yeah,
don't. College is gonna get that all for you.
yeah.
Honestly, the only thing you might want to do is like Olympic lifts and like the basic strength training. But besides that, you want to be able to do yoga, flexible. You want to be able to just run like just fast. Because like honestly, strength. If you're stiff in like the Division 1 level, honestly, you're gonna be out there after the next spring ball.
Hell yeah,
Because after that spring ball, like that's when like they decide like who gonna stay there. So I would say for freshmen coming in, or if you have dreams, I would say just be flexible and just be agile. Because if you're flexible, agile, coaches can work with that. They
mm,
can make, they could build you the strength. They could give you all like the processes and just everything you just need to just be like the better athlete.
hell yeah. And so like, um, is there? I know you said going back to like circles and stuff. Was there anybody that helped you out coming up? Any other coaches, something like that?
Yeah. So basically, one of the first coaches that I had, his name is Coach Eric.
Mm,
Coach Eric is a phenomenal dude. I grew up a problem child. So like a circle. cannot just mean for football. It can mean for mental health. It could just be like someone that you could rely on to like pick you up, give you rides, like just simple like barbecue stuff. But it's that circle that like you need people to support you because you are who you surround yourself with. You are. So if you're surrounding yourself with people who are doing bad things, you're probably gonna end up doing bad things too.
Right.
And luckily, I was able to find just really good people like the team hustle staff. The
Yeah.
team hustle staff honestly gave me a lot. They gave me a lot. They helped me train when I didn't have nothing. So honestly, I'm really grateful to y'all, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Hell yeah. So kind of going, moving forward, obviously, you ended up picking up that first offer. Who was it, and how did you feel when you got that?
Well, like the funny part is, my first offer was from Mike Leach, rest in peace. It was from a Mike Leach, and I got it my sophomore year at Grand Terrace, which like I'm saying, if you go to smaller school, you're still able to obtain offers. It's not like you're unable to. But so like that was actually my first offer, and a few months later, COVID started showing up, and Mike Leach left. He went to what was it again? What's the SEC?
Mm.
And so I ended up losing that offer, and but
Wait,
that was still one
what's,
of the greatest feelings I ever met.
what's,
Well,
what school was this?
my first offer was at Washington State.
Oh, it was your first offer. What the heck?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Oh my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. And it was Mike Leach that offered you. Damn.
Mm-hmm. It was Mike Leach. Yeah. So like that was honestly like it was kind of sad for me because like him calling me up was one of the greatest moments, and when he passed away, it was one of my worst moments.
Yeah.
So when Mike Leach called me, right, I was on the phone, and I immediately remember just going home, just screaming to my parents and just yelling like, we finally did it, right?
Yeah.
And like I was so happy, and then a few months go by, and then I lose the only offer I had, and then that was one of the worst lows. I was like, "Shit, am I gonna get into college?"
Wait, so did you lose Wazoo?
I lost it. Yeah.
Why was that? Was that when
The coaching staff changed? Yeah.
Got you.
And so when the coaching staff changed, I didn't have any more scholarships because like my GPA was so low. Like my GPA was like a 2.5, something crazy like that. Which, to be honest, like, man, I messed up. I should have focused a little more on school. You'd be like, I didn't have anybody pushing me the same way I was being pushed for football. That like I wish someone pushed me a little bit more for school. But I'm so grateful I made it to college though. My parents did the best they could. You feel me?
Yeah. So what was that? You lost the offer. What was the process of getting it back? What did that look like?
So the process of getting it back was honestly a kind of a tedious process. So I actually only got the offer back when I went to Cajon. And the crazy part is, at Cajon, I didn't even play a snap of football. So here's where I'm gonna talk about how important it is to where high school coaches have connections to like the next level, or even coaches in general. So when I got to Cajon, I didn't even play a snap of football there yet. Not a single snap. And I swear it was like a week later, Coach Rogers, head coach at Cajon, called me in his office, and he was like, "Scholarship, Montana." I was like, "What? It's a scholarship. You got offered Montana." I looked at it, I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "What?" You just called me in like that and just say Montana, you, and then he was like, "Go to class." I'm over here excited shit in class. I'm over here calling my mom. I'm over here excited. But like that's what I'm saying. Like these coaches are able to like obtain something that like through like connections that like are so like important.
Yeah.
So that's why I say like connections and circles is such a huge thing in this like recruiting process.
Right. So obviously you're getting recruited as a D lineman. What is some advice you give to like high school D linemen out there that like if you had to do 3 things to focus on, because there's a million things, especially with the internet nowadays. I'm sure you see a ton of crazy drills, a ton of crazy routines. Like, just kind of you seem like a guy who's really just nailed in on the basics. What's three things all D linemen in high school should focus on if they're trying to get to the next level?
I like that question actually. I actually because like the more TikTok goes around, I get to see all these like D line training videos and like all
Like
this
the
other stuff.
swords, just like do a
Yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
yeah,
But I've been seeing some crazy drills. I'm over here like I want to comment on that Instagram post so bad.
yeah,
No, but I would say that one of the things that irritate me the most about like these trainers and like some of these trainers out here charging $3,000-$4,000 a year, like which is crazy to me.
yeah,
But I would say for D linemen, is like us is basically so many trainers are so focused on pass rushing, right?
mm,
But honestly, like when it gets to that next level, there there are certain packages for pass rushing which you will most likely not be on if you're not a veteran or if
yeah,
you're just not like that guy, right?
yeah,
So I would say you're wasting all this time on working your pass rush when you should be really working that run blocking scheme, or if you're
right,
really working on reading that, or like reading like that backfield set, like the gun fart, or maybe like the trips yo, or if you know if like it's like that crack toss, right?
yeah,
And the crazy part is none of these trainers are working that like the match stabs, right?
mm,
Or play the even work or play like a three tech or play like the lag, right? When like basically like when all like these high school kids get like to college and I see it like over and over again, is none of them know how to play the run.
yeah,
And that's 90% of what we do. Like
right,
I like I like I barely started pass rush. Like I like I've been in college for almost 4 years now. And I'm finally a part of like the pass rush package now.
yeah,
Which like basically like I had a phenomenal season last year, and it's gonna take that, and that's what I'm trying to explain to freshmen, is that like they need to work on like the run blocking skills because after you get to the run blocking skills, which is what like your D lineman coach really wants to see, then you can get to the pass rush. The pass rush is the fun part. That the pass rush is what you earn,
right,
that's why the run blocking is so key. Because if you could run block, you could be in the league forever.
yeah,
Right, because in the league, that's when you bring your fast dudes or like
yeah,
all of this, right? Which is just like crazy to me that like no trainers just teach that, like that, the simple just 1 2 hips and hands.
yeah. And that was key, bro. I was talking to Suave, my cousin I was telling you about, and
Mhm.
he used to coach D line at Oregon, but that was actually the same thing he said, which was, a lot of these guys high school nowadays are just always pass focused, but you'll never go and get a sack if you can't stop the run. They're
Yeah,
just they're just gonna keep running it down your
yeah,
throat. So
yeah. And the crazy part is trainers are so scared to teach how to play the run because basically in a basic leverage, there are 4 things that you can get. You can get outside zone, regular zone, screen, pass rush. And thing about trainers is they don't want to teach like the switches, the doubles, the back blocks,
right,
the counters, the gap schemes, and like basic trainers look at that like, man, I don't got time to teach that.
yeah,
That is what you need to know. Like how fast, like how fast can you recognize a guard pull and then get your at the pillar through like the center, right?
yeah,
Most of these kids don't even know what a gap scheme is, or like a gun far. Like it's crazy to me.
yeah. So what you're saying is more or less study the outside of the physical part. A lot of it's going to be studying like the basic
Basics. Yep.
terminology, schemes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, based off of what I've heard, it's kind of like if you want to, based off of your story, it's the easiest way to get recruited is surround yourself with people who have connections in the college game, right? Because if you're good
Yep.
enough, they'll plug you in.
Yes.
I
And
feel like that's just a universal rule in life in general. Like if whether it's you want to make more money, hang out with rich people, you want to get in shape, hang out with people who are in shape. You know what I mean? Like whatever you want
exactly.
to just hang out with people.
See, that's where people might disagree with me on this, but so like the whole like NIL stuff, I don't know. Like it's still controversial for me because I don't feel like you should chase a school just for the money. I
Right.
feel like you should chase a school still for like the coaching staff
Yeah.
and for like the aspects. Because I'm real with you, if you don't have a good coach, you're not gonna learn.
Yeah.
If you're if your dreams are true in the NFL, you should not be chasing $100,000 because $100,000 is kids out there think, oh shit, that's a lot of money to the school.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
These schools have hundreds of millions of dollars,
Yeah.
right? And that's just in their football program alone.
Yeah.
And now with this new thing, schools are actually able to like actually fund players more, even outside the booth, like the NIL, which is $100,000 ain't nothing.
Yeah.
They throw that around like crazy. So like I'm saying is like you need to find a really good coach because I went through 3 coaches, right? I'm real with you. I hated my first 2 years at Washington State, or my first year and a half, right? When I found that one coach who actually wanted to teach me and basically help me learn, that's when like I had a phenomenal seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, bro. I mean, you pretty much hit everything on the nail. You know, now that you're at the college level, you know, you kind of talked about going from a, you know, lower level football program to a higher level high school football program. You said the difference. Now going from a high school level program to a college level program, what's the new difference that you've seen, you know, when you got to the D1 college level?
I would say the main because as you know, like our freshmen just like came in, so
Yeah.
I'm honestly like remembering how I was a freshman too.
Yeah.
So like as I watch them, it kind of reminds me of myself too. How
Yeah.
basically that you're going now and partying every night. You know, like basically like, you're away from family for like the first time. You know, like you don't got a bedtime, ain't nobody controlling you, right? And so I see basically I see all these kids, you know, like doing like what they're not supposed to do. And like I'm trying to help them, right? But like you're gonna listen as much as as much as you want, and most of the kids ain't gonna listen.
Yeah.
So I would say the hardest part about coming in, I would say the hardest part is about managing your time, right? And dealing with authority, because most of these kids don't know how to deal with authority.
Yeah.
Because in high school, you know, I'm the star player. You know, I made it to like Division I, but you come out here and you is not the best player. You're not the biggest player. You're not the fastest player. You're not the strongest player. You're not even the smartest player.
Yeah.
There is probably nothing about you that is the best.
Yeah.
On that team, and a lot of these players don't even know how to cope with that, right? And it's like so basically I've seen them get out onto the field. We actually just had a player who like didn't even make it through fall camp because he couldn't handle it. Freshman didn't make it through fall camp, scholarship and everything, right? And basically I love the kid. He had talent, right? But it's the problem that the authority thing,
Right.
and like the time management, but like when you get to this next level, the game is just so much faster, right? Because my coach, as soon as he hops in that meeting room, right, he looks at us, and the first thing he asks me is about a certain play we did. What we're thinking, backfield set, right? And crazy part, we have to know what play he's thinking about. We have to know what he just watched in film, right? Or like basically, like we have to know where we messed up at. Our free time is watching film, right?
Yeah.
Or basically, like he'll come in, right? Gun far, you're tilted. What are you expecting at you? And if you don't know in the first 2 seconds, he'll say it wrong, and he'll go to the next guy. Right? Like he'll just come in like you gotta think like he can, right? Mm-hmm. And not only is it backfield sets, you gotta know like the coverages, you gotta know the blitzes, because like, you gotta know if you have contain, because like if you could basically like if that quarterback gets out and you're on contain, you get subbed out.
Yeah.
You getting subbed out. So I would say definitely this playbook is definitely one of the hardest things, because like coaches will come over, smack that thing on your desk, and be, I want you to learn 40 plays.
Do you have any advice on how to get acclimated quickly into the system? Like if you were to come in like, you know, fresh booty right away, and it's like you wanted to just get everything going, you know, how would you do that?
For me, I didn't really see like my freshman was terrible because I didn't really follow anybody, you know. So like I messed up. So like I'm saying what I would have done, or like what I should have. I honestly should have grabbed the first person and I see who's doing everything right.
Right.
And honestly, you just stay in his back pocket. You just stay in his back pocket for every single meeting, for every single meal, for every for every single practice, right?
Right.
Because you come out here, right? You go on the practice field, right? You are so scared of your first practice, right? You don't know what's about to happen, right?
Yeah.
So obviously the first thing to ease yourself is to find the best player out there in your position and just follow him.
Yeah. It's kind of just put your pride down and be little bro to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously at that level, it's competition where it's like, yeah, how could you get somebody who's older than you to take you under their wing? You know what I mean? Because he's probably like, oh, well, then you gonna take my spot? like how would you be able to like maintain that balance? Like, would you have to just kind of be like, hey, bro, I'll do something for you?
I would say my program is like a little bit different. Our coaches talked about that. That if you're not willing to teach the guys below you, if you're scared of losing your job, then you shouldn't be at this level, or you shouldn't be able to go to the league.
Right.
If you're really scared about losing your job, you really shouldn't be scared about, or honestly, if that person about losing like their job, that's not a person that you should follow. You should follow someone who is selfless, and it was someone who's willing to pour themselves into you,
Right.
who doesn't care. Because if they're really confident about who they are and what they could do on that field, then they're not about to care about teaching a freshman.
Yeah.
But if that's something they're scared of, honestly, like, I'll call him a coward.
Yeah.
I'll call him a coward straight to his face that he's scared to teach a freshman. And honestly, that's props to you, because that means that he sees something in you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So honestly, I would definitely find somebody who's basically like enthusiastic in training you and just making you better. Because ultimately, like, as like an older guy, like, if I want to train you, I'm just making that team better. I'm making a scout team better. I'm making offense better by training my young freshmen.
Yeah.
And that means that we're gonna have a better season. And that also means that more scouts are gonna come out and look at our team.
Right. That's a good.
It's gonna help us either way.
Perspective shift is looking at it as getting the overall team better, which is overall going to benefit you at the end, and also just kind of have that self-confidence in yourself where it's like, I can teach this kid everything he knows. I know he's still not going to beat me. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if you're like, I teach him everything, like, yeah, you shouldn't even be there in the first place.
And that's the part is basically, I want someone to try and challenge me.
Yeah.
I want that, because basically if he beats me out, that just proves that I'm not ready for the league yet. You feel me?
Yeah. Rather than just being a phony and
and just scared someone's gonna come up and take it. You feel me?
Yeah, that's good, bro. We've been talking a lot about like what players should do, but like we kind of like to use reverse psychology. I'm not sure if you ever heard of inverted thinking, but it's kind of solving problems in reverse. So it's like how would I get recruited? I think the better question is like, what can I do to guarantee I would never be recruited? Which is what majority of people do every single day. So if you had 60 seconds to just kind of list off the top of your brain, like if you wanted to make the worst recruit ever, like if you're creating this player, what would he do?
Honestly, I'm gonna go my big one. I would not stretch. Stretch every single day, not rehab, right? And honestly, like, because I basically, like, if you're trying to make the league, scouts go back and talk to your high school teachers. So if you're disrespectful to your high school teachers, I'd be disrespectful to my high school teachers if I didn't want to get recruited.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Like, I would post crazy stuff on like your Instagrams, because crazy part is college coaches check your Instagrams, check your Twitters, check who you're following. Right? So I follow some people crazy if I'm not trying to get recruited, right? Right. And like the crazy part is, like, social media right now, you should be posting nothing like political. You should be posting no sides. Like, you should just be in the medium, right? Because basically you don't want to be involved in any of that. You don't be involved with none of that. Even if you disagree with some stuff, you don't say a word about it.
Yeah.
right? And that's sadly like that's the world that's the world that we live in now. But we're
Yeah.
like basically like you got to muffle yourself, but like that's how it is. What else? I'd probably like eat improper. I'll probably be under or over the weight that they want me as, right?
Mhm.
I'm bro with you as a defensive tackle. If you're a little bit above 6 foot, you're fine. You could play you could play in most FBS teams depending on their schemes.
Yeah.
What else? Mm, honestly, I wouldn't even go to like no colleges, no like tours.
Oh, like camps and
Yeah.
tours.
Yeah, but I would say be careful for
Because
camps.
I've been seeing a lot of like Instagram reels where people are like, going to college camps is a waste of your time. Uh,
No.
Going to college, and I can see both ends of the spectrum. Like if you're not ready, no college is gonna look at you. But I also feel like if you're not ready, you can see how far behind you are. You can see the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
like Benny, like there's also camps up there. I don't like you see them, right? Like there's some like a excuse my language, but there's some like really just like bullshit camps up there that
oh,
are just
yeah,
like
for
just
sure.
like are just like scamming kids, right? Like ain't no colleges at that camps. Like ain't nobody gonna come out there charging $50 per person. I'm like, bro, like what you guys doing, man? Like that's just like this is a kid's future who wants to like achieve another level, and you out here scamming like a kid, man.
All these media outlet camps,
Yeah,
and
but I would say the best camps for me is like the popular ones, like the Redlands ones, because like even my coaches go down to the Redlands ones.
oh yeah,
They tell me what and like they tell me what kids I saw there, right? Because
yeah,
like basically like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm sometimes in there, my coach, my coach shows me a kid, right? And your personality is huge. If
yeah,
your if your personality, if we don't feel like you fit a room, if we feel like you're arrogant and you're gonna bring down the room, we don't want you there.
yeah,
We want a person who's gonna who's gonna upbring our room and make us and make us better. Not a person we got to worry about with grades
yeah,
and with like attitude problems. Rob us something, take us something.
yeah,
No, no. Like what I'm saying is they are really good camps out there and they're really bad ones.
yeah. So
Just basically,
you're saying like only go to camps that are ran by the colleges themselves.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like basically like if a college ain't there, there's no point in going there. Like, what
Yeah,
are you going there for?
yeah, for exposure and stuff.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, what? I can see if it's for like if you're like 12 or 11, and you're like younger, getting down the
Yeah, yeah,
basics. But besides that, if you're in high school, you should not be going to no camps if there ain't no colleges there.
yeah, yeah. Unless you're just going for a workout or training purposes, and but
Yeah, but I ain't about to spend $50 to
you get that.
stick around.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but anyway, because I'm not gonna lie, bro. I've been to some crazy camps, bro. I'm like,
Me too. Me too.
dang, bro, there ain't a single college coach here. Bro. I'm, all, I'm out here sitting in 50 like 50-degree weather. It's cold as shit. I'm over here, man. When's be my turn?
Yeah.
A single,
I guess on this note, what are some things that are like normal, like at least you thought was normal in high school, and then when you got to college, you're like, "Yo, what was that? Like, what were we even doing?" Or like why is that going on? Can you think of any of those
mm.
outside of exposure camps?
Oh, there's some, there's some, there's some drills out there like that you should not be doing in high school, right?
Yeah,
Like there's like basically I get when you're young, like hidden drills, right? But like there's some drills out there that like even like I'm talking to college coaches, I'm talking to high school coaches. You
yeah,
should not be doing hidden drills that far that far that far back, like a 10 yards apart, like minimum like 5 yards or maximum like five
yeah.
yards.
Just running full speed, getting each
Running
other.
full speed at each other. Like I've seen that so many times at high schools and kids just getting hurt.
Yeah,
Like some of those
they don't
drills.
even do Oklahoma drills in college no more, huh?
No, they banned it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, like they banned that. They banned the mat drills. They banned all of that. And then I would say for like for basically like for basic like O linemen
mhm,
when like O linemen double team, right?
mhm,
Nowadays it's either the fork or it's either the hook. Nobody's stepping same foot, same hand anymore and dropping the shoulder and trying to walk them. It's
Yeah,
always position blocking now.
yeah,
Like if you watch Oregon, right? That's that's all they do.
yeah,
UW too. I'm saying that's all they do. So also if you're like an O lineman too, practice that. Go watch the Patriots, right? And go watch how they double team. It's forks and it's a hook. It's
yeah,
position blocking. Because D linemen are so good nowadays. If you come off with your shoulder, you're not gonna be able to move them.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get you out the way.
And I would say for a interior D lineman in high school, don't practice the spin move.
Yeah,
They're gonna stop you. They're gonna
this is for interior linemen, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
For like interior D linemen, like edges, y'all can spin as much as y'all want.
yeah,
Interior D linemen, do not spin. Do not spin.
you just,
Please, because as soon as you spin, that center is waiting for you.
yeah,
That center is waiting for you. Maybe if you have a backer walked up, so that's you might be able to spin. But besides that, practicing the spin move isn't much you gotta do. I
yeah.
would say advice for pass rushing is the long arm. Long arm is probably your best friend.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, bro. Well, I kind of went a little bit over time, but kind of like, is there any other advice if you were back in high school that you would tell yourself to do, to not do? Like, kind of like if you're talking to young David, what would you tell him?
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of an arrogant child. I had like coaches come up to me and tell me that I should do this and do this, and I thought that I was greater than everybody, and I kind of just didn't listen. What I'm gonna tell you is listen to people who have like your best interest in mind. If
Yeah,
they have your best interest in mind, not much harm can like come from it,
yeah,
right? Because I kind of blew away people that I shouldn't have blew away. And
yeah,
when basically like looking back, it would have put me in like a whole different kind of position. I'm happy in the position that I'm in right now, but I wouldn't have to go through all the processes and trials if I had just listened.
yeah.
You
And
feel
how do
me?
you distinguish because, you know, there's a lot of people who may give you advice. How would you distinguish whether this person's advice is just bullshit? Like, how would you know?
Um, so I would say if you are a decently popular recruit, right? And if a coach comes up to you and he's like I can get you a scholarship if you don't have one of those, right? He's a bad coach.
Yeah,
Because like the part is like these coaches are getting money to send you to a certain school.
yeah,
And if they're asking, and basically, if most of these places are asking for money and they're trying to give you advice, they do not have your best interest in mind.
yeah,
I would say stick to the people that you've known since you were little.
mhm,
Like basically, like most of the people never thought you'd make it to where you are right now.
yeah,
So I actually have a time period of when I started accepting people's advice into my life,
yeah,
right? Because basically, like people know where I'm at right now, but people don't know where I was at 7 years ago. You feel me?
yeah,
So I would say like uh like sometimes knowing who has like the best you like the best you in mind is probably not like it's probably not like some like random like coach you just you just met, right? It's gonna be the person that you've known since you were really young.
hell yeah, bro. Well, shit, David. I appreciate you for coming on. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know,
of course, man.
I know your busy schedule. Good luck with this season, my boy.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, honest, bro, this season gonna be easy, bro.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, you don't care.
But
It's
like I'm kind of mad, bro, because like the only fun schools everybody's gonna be fun, right? But like, bro, UW and Texas, that was
yeah,
one gonna be fun.
yeah,
I know, bro.
hell yeah, bro. What's it
I
like playing
appreciate
in
it.
those? What's it like playing in those big games, real quick? Like when your first ever,
Mm.
big game. What was that feeling?
Shit. The biggest game I had. I remember it was Apple Cup. It was against UW, right? And my
Yeah,
coach was like, it wasn't like basically it wasn't the first time like I was out there, right? But it was like the first big one, and basically the other person in front of me actually just got hurt. So he looks at me. He was like, "Goose, you're up." I said, "All right." I said, all right, right. And so I look over at like this tackle, right? And this dude, when I was sure it was my sophomore year, right? And this dude just went drafted first round, right?
Damn.
I look over at this dude, he staring me down. He could tell I'm young, right?
Yeah.
He comes over and he says, "Watch this." I said, "Watch what?" I look at him, right? I'm like, fuck you, right? Like I'm ready, right? as I put my hand in there, right? I go, right? And the D lineman does this, right? I'm not used to that. I'm like, oh, like what? He got me. And all I see is this big old poly dude. Boom, bro! Like
Oh,
I fly 4 yards. It's a counter, and the ball hits for 15 yards off of me. And then my coach just does this with like his paper, and he just like, oh.
They're like, welcome to the big leagues.
I'm like, welcome to college, bro. Because it's like before that, like my first the games he had was like Idaho, like smaller ones, and I just rotated in. But that's the one where I played like 50 snaps.
Damn.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was a rough game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that boy knocked the air out of me. And the worst part is we got back up and they said goal line formation. And he said, "I got you again." And they ran a mid zone to my side and they scored. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good, bro. Hey,
yeah.
Yeah, one last question. My bad. One last question, because I just kind of brought one up, which was, obviously that's a big mistake on, in front of a lot of people. How do you deal with, how do you deal with those situations mentally? Because sometimes that could get discouraging, especially first play, boom, 15 yards right off the back on me. What's kind of your approach to that?
Yeah, I would say for me, as soon as you start thinking about what you did wrong, that's when you're gonna start doing more things wrong.
Yeah.
So I would say for me, I would just go to my coach, and I'd be like, just slap my chest, just slap my back, I need that adrenaline going.
Yeah.
And basically, like, as your adrenaline going, I'm gonna be real with you, you forget what just happened.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, after the game, it's hard because like a Division I, like Pac-12 when like it was big, people out there messaging you, tweeting you, like it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, like it's real hard to pick up that phone and know that people were talking about you, like, oh man, like he sold the game, like we wouldn't have lost, even like that counterplay didn't hit, right? But sometimes you just have to set down your phone, give it to your mom, give it to your girl.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you have to put it down because, like, if you look at that, it's gonna make your night a whole lot worse than what it would be. Because when you get back on that Monday, that film session gonna be rough, and you can worry about that then.
Yeah. Yeah, I already got coach yelling at me. I don't gotta listen to all these fans.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. There was a time where I was past stretch. I think it was Colorado State, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that he couldn't cut me, right? If he sets back 2 yards, right? But I learned the hard way. So I try to long arm, right? As soon as I hit a long arm, he dives at my knees and I somersault. And I swear to you, they rewinded that play 40 times in the film room. It was my coach out there sitting back like this. Not a word.
Just
not a word being said. Just rewinding it.
That's hilarious.
But like I'll tell you guys, you guys will all have a play like that. Everybody's gonna have a play where like, that coach gonna grab the remote and just rewind it. But you're gonna learn from it, man.
Yeah. All right then, my boy. I appreciate you, Gustav, for coming on, man.
Of course, Benny, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.